Well, it is time to discuss the Real Housewives of New York reunion, RHONY Part 1.
Yeah.
I'm Laura. I'm here with my pal,
Kristen.
Hey, and we are ready to go on RHONY reunion.
Yeah.
I have one thing to say about this. The reunion so far, Part 1, is better than the entire season.
Yeah, totally.
I really have. I'm really like, wow. They all. Let's just start at the top.
Oh God.
They all look phenomenal.
Oh wow, all of them.
Wow, these
Beautiful looks. You know who I think won with the way she looked was Sai.
Oh, that's my
she
pick.
was like, she blew me away. Her dress, her hair, she looked stunning.
Yes, she did. As Andy said, biz on the top, party on the bottom.
Yep, it was perfect.
She had a very it's an old reference, but Carol Burnett show when she was dressed as like. She did the Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yes.
She was wearing the drapes. The bottom looked like the drapes, the big. But that was a stunning, stunning piece. You know what? She didn't say who made that piece.
Yeah. She didn't, right? Do they usually tell who the pieces were or who they're wearing?
I know that she was wearing Bottega Veneta, Erin, because he said, is that Bottega? I think Andy said that. I wasn't crazy about Erin's look.
No, neither. I mean, she looked gorgeous, glowing, pregnant and everything, but I didn't like her dress.
Like that. I think that's a tough color for anybody.
Agreed.
But I feel like Erin's eyes, are Erin's eyes blue? But I feel like they're that color. Are they like a hazily
I think they're kind of hazel gray.
I don't know if they're blue.
I don't know.
I can't really, I couldn't really make it out, but I was like, ooh, I'm not crazy about it, but I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate her look.
I didn't hate it.
I mean, from the head up, she looked gorgeous. I was just kind of looking at that dress and I was like, I don't know if I like that dress.
It just almost looks like that color is a tough color to wear. And it almost looks like baby vomit. Like you gave your baby like bananas and some kind of curry was in with the chicken squashed up that they ate. And that's the color of what's coming out of them. That's what I think's happening. However, she looks beautiful prego. So
she like glowing, beautiful.
So, but Raquel also.
She looked beautiful. Yes.
Those braids.
Yeah, I know.
Were those fake braids? That can't be her real hair.
That can't be. Yeah, I don't think it's her real hair. I don't know.
Have we ever seen her with her hair down?
There was one confessional and she looked beautiful with it. And it was almost like a bob. Like a very nice bob, like a shoulder length hair, which I feel like that maybe was her real hair.
Yeah, because that braid.
I think she's putting a lot of extensions
in one picture. She's holding it out, and it's like this massively long braid,
dramatic. Yeah.
Yes, and
but her looks are very dramatic. Even throughout the season, they were.
She's very. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Woo. Ooh. Maybe Raquel's, her aura's in the room going, oh, yes, those are my fake braids that I wear. I'm so happy you like them. Woo, sorry. I can't seem to get over whatever it is that I've got.
Oh, yeah. We're all dealing with that.
But going back, who is the other person?
Well, I thought I will add to another one who I knew she would look stunning is Uba.
I know.
She's
beautiful.
She's just got such an absolutely gorgeous face.
She really does.
And, her outfit, everything. She looked
stunning. And you know what?
Stunning.
I also got a sense from Uba that she's zenned out a little bit.
I got that too.
You could even feel it. I don't know what it is. It was coming through the screen. Like when he said, oh, are you Uba hot? When Andy said, are we seeing Uba hot? And then he's like, no, we're seeing Uba zen.
Yeah.
And I could feel that from her. I thought she wasn't like ready to attack. She wasn't when animals attack.
Well, she's been away from this toxic environment for a few months now. When did they stop filming?
She's
Probably
also
in the summer.
Connecticut with
and she's in Connecticut,
Oliver.
which we've talked about before, right? She's not even living in New York anymore. Maybe she just needed to get out of the New York madness.
She's on the other side of us now. She was south of us. Now she's a little north of us.
Yeah.
So we're right smack in the middle.
Yeah, we're right sandwiched in between Greenwich, Connecticut, and Manhattan.
So I know we don't generally talk about fashion, but this was a fun fashion moment. Like Andy,
all of them kind of blew me. Oh, Jessel also blew me away. They all looked
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, her skin tone.
Yeah, is
gorgeous. I mean, she was talking about what she had done because there was some stupid accusation that she didn't pay somebody for her Botox and fillers. And she's like, are you crazy? Do you think we didn't sit down and discuss before I did it? You know what I mean? And I was like, exactly. Like,
Jessel, when anyone's going to pay for things.
Oh my God. It was so stupid. But getting back to it, her skin tone is
beautiful.
I don't even know what to even call that color, but man, is it gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Like perfection. Mm-hmm. Like not even a mark on her.
I was going to say no blemish, no
not
nothing.
A blemish, not a mark,
gorgeous.
Like perfection skin.
Yeah, perfection.
That's what's that kind of complexion sells products. Jessel, if it all goes wrong, you can just go out and sell self tanner.
But just even to get into what you said, I really don't know why they were even asking her about the work she had done, and she looks so different from last season.
Because
she looks the same as last season. She got a haircut. I didn't really notice anything different about her appearance other than her hair.
I know. I'm ready to cut my hair short now, Jessel. I'm ready to go back to that cut, but I don't think it'll quite look as fabulous as hers does. But in the beginning, you also see Miss Brynn watching the finale. It was interesting to see sort of her reactions, like like half crying, half like what the fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know how she carries herself in there based on all the things that she's done.
Oh,
I don't get it. I would be so sick to my stomach. I mean, I think she is sick under there.
And ashamed. I think she does put a facade on a lot.
But just putting a pause on that, I mean, we're going to kind of just talk about a lot of the Brynn stuff or whatever it is you want to pick up. But her outfit now I loved. It was very reminiscent. I love Brynn's outfit. But I didn't like it on Brynn. But I found it interesting psychologically. Now I'm going to play like dime store therapist.
Okay.
I found it interesting that she was all covered up. She was all protected. She was not.
Like
up the collars up to
and
here,
guarded.
The long sleeves, the feathers, which I
she
loved.
Could hide a little bit behind that outfit.
It reminded me of something that my favorite of all time, Lucille Ball, would wear playing backgammon at her house. Like I feel like that's what Lucy loved to play backgammon.
Right.
And I feel like Lucy, you go over to her house. Not that she was this glamour puss, but
it
was very glamour. And of course, she said it was a throwback to Ava Gabor, and they have the same birthday. Or was it Zsa Zsa?
I think Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yes, Ava's her sister. Was Zsa Zsa the one who beat up the police in Beverly
Yes,
Hills?
that was Zsa Zsa. Yes,
so clutch. Now, if she was alive, man, I mean, she might even still be like
her.
She might. No, she died, right?
She did.
I was gonna say.
I don't know. Probably a while ago.
What a great housewife Zsa Zsa would have made.
She would have been a good Beverly Hills housewife, right?
The greatest. Could you imagine those old birds like, hello, darling. Come on into our house. Come in.
Someone who is like her now, I would almost say, is Miss Pat from Charleston. There's a even in the clothing and everything.
Well, right, but
and
just the fact that she was Southern, But yeah, I see what you mean
like a Southern version of Zsa Zsa, a little bit.
Like they were old Hollywood glam.
Old Hollywood glam. Well, that's what Brynn. Back to Brynn. She looked old
she
Hollywood
did.
glam.
She
Her
did.
hair did.
But
I mean, she looked beautiful.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
And
Brynn,
her hair looked nice.
I'm seeing not a pretty side of Brynn, and I think what's happening with Brynn, I think, is really, truly, she's coming apart at the seams.
I think so.
She is. It's all oozing out of her, and then there were moments of her during this reunion. I mean, we're not going to pick apart the entire reunion.
Yeah.
But there were moments of her in this reunion where, like when Erin was talking about being pregnant, and Andy's like, "Do we know if it's a boy or a girl?" And Erin's like, "Maybe." But then they shot to Brynn, or she was off to the side, and you could see this like sweet little girl, almost like,
yeah.
But like I was feeling for her, like she's excited about that. But then on the other part, you don't know if you can really ever trust. She's very aware that the camera's on her.
Right.
She knows. I feel like every move she makes, like a
it's
nostril,
like you're playing chess.
A nostril hair's out of place, and it's like,
yeah.
What should my look be for that?
Yeah.
So then again, I'm talking on both sides of the coin, right?
Of course.
But I feel like that is Brynn. She is I don't know when her birthday is, but she's a true Gemini. When her and Zsa Zsa were born, but I feel like she is the two faces. She really is a double personality.
Yeah.
But I really do feel bad for her, but I don't, again, like I said on our last podcast, I feel like you're a product of your past and not a prisoner, and she needs the time for excuses is finished.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like, what are we doing with Brynn? I don't think they're going to get rid of her.
I think Brynn is gone.
I don't
and
think
you
so.
know why I think she's gone?
Get rid of her.
I think she's I don't know. See, I think she is too much of a liability now for Bravo. I think the ladies, I really do think, to what you're saying, I think they're afraid of her. Like I would be afraid to film with her because
just don't
I
know.
would just not know whatever I would say she would take and, twist and turn and make it into a whole thing and possibly hurt me as she did Uba, as she did Jessel.
Let's just
I really think those two ladies alone are perfect examples. I think they would be afraid to film with her.
Well, let's pick apart the Jessel thing for a second.
Yeah, that was bothersome. Right? I mean, it really was. And I'm so glad Jessel stood up to her.
Good for Jessel. She went after her.
She did.
In a Jessel way, in a nice way.
Very, very classy way.
Just saying, like, you're not married. You don't have a husband. I had to sit there. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about or haven't seen it yet, basically Jessel, or any listeners that, need to be caught up, basically, Brynn had said that the love of her life was somebody other than Pavitt, right?
You're right, right.
And that it was some other guy that she used to
And it was just who was your hookup? She was just talking about a hookup.
This crazy
and
hookup,
Brynn made that into
what
this was
she
the
does.
love of her life.
She takes a kernel of truth.
Yes.
She twists it around.
Yeah.
And then, but she was like, you weren't sitting there and Pavitt was quiet and, he's a strong guy. But now, not only do I have to listen to that with Pavitt, but my friends have to hear that shit. My parents, everybody, and then Jenna Lyons, love it, comes to her defense.
Who you don't usually hear from either.
Oh, and she was passionate.
Jenna's very smart.
I love Jenna.
Right?
I like
And
Jenna.
the way she articulates and can break things down is perfect. And Jessel needed that in that moment. It was perfect.
Well, it was just like
I was
giving
so
her credibility.
happy.
Like, Brynn, when you say an apology, just say the apology. Stop trying to defend it. It's so
the spin
dark.
is so dark.
How could you, how could you do that? You knew it wasn't about her husband and you brought it up. Like, how could you? And see, this is why Jenna Lyons is too good for this show.
Well, this is where I flip-flop all the time. I always say that about these housewives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is Jenna bringing? But she is bringing it. And there is some voice of reason to Jenna that show needs. Now, if this reboot survives, because I did post this on our Instagram page.
There is
but they're
definitely
doing a casting call for
but
New
that's
York.
not a reboot.
Right, that's not a reboot. I don't know if that means that they're going to replace
all
these ladies. They're going to replace some of these ladies because I still don't think Brynn is coming back.
I don't know, but I think maybe they're just going to
And I think Rebecca is not coming back.
I think they're going to add a friend or two. If Rebecca comes back, I would die.
I would die out of what the hell?
And apparently next week it gets even worse.
That woman made no sense on that show.
No sense. But you know what? I love the one piece of shade that Erin threw at her during it. She was like, so, when she's like, Andy said, like, did Abe ever sell his Bitcoin or whatever? And he was like, well, he was trying to get us out of debt because we had this purse business, this handbag business that went under. And Rebecca likes to laugh at us about it. But yeah, she's a woman supporting women, right? Because, meaning like she gave it into Rebecca because Rebecca makes fun of them because she has this bazillion-dollar company.
Well, Erin was on a podcast recently and she said that her and Rebecca are not talking. Okay. So that I think that'll also is going to edge her out.
Now, usually they bring the friend on for a segment, or two, maybe if they're involved. But Rebecca really had zero input, zero part of the show.
She added no value to the show, really.
And basically, it was just, it was a little bit back and forth. So there was the Pavitt thing, the Pavitt and Jessel thing.
Look, that's very hurtful. Again, even Jessel said, my family was asking me about that. Pavitt, obviously, that's our marriage. I mean, and they have a nice marriage.
Yeah,
so
and I
know
her.
there's bumps in that marriage, but
there's
who doesn't have a bump in the marriage?
Exactly. But we all know it's the same cliche. If somebody tells you marriage is perfect, they're lying.
They're lying.
It's just not. It's just human nature. That's with friendships. That's with anything. You're going to have things about people that bug you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it is. But I thought there was a little back and forth between Sai, and she was like, you put me through hell, Sai, for 5 weeks or whatever.
See, there Brynn goes again, making herself the victim.
Right, she's a victim. She causes the chaos. Then I'm the victim.
Then she's a victim.
I'm the victim. And I do believe there is a part of Brynn. I hate to play devil's advocate all the time, but there is that part. Like, I did see some genuine tears there. You know what I mean?
Well, there's, you know what, I think it's just, there's just so much pain in that woman.
Well, right.
Like
there
when
is
I said
so
she's
much coming apart
pain.
at the seams, it's oozing out of her now. She can't even help it.
No.
It's like she's trying, there's all these holes and she's trying to plug them up.
Yeah.
And she just can't. And all of her all of her years of coping and trying to cope and whatever she's been through.
Yeah.
And
But she is so damaged, I think. She is. She's a very damaged person. So,
you know, when you say damaged, that reminds me of something that Tina Fey said.
Okay.
And it's totally different, but it's not. It's when you said damaged, like that makes me wince because Tina Fey said something like, something about she was referencing her daughter and they were like, what about, you know, she's like, I just hope she's not like damaged like that. Like, because that's something that's so hard to overcome and that other people can see.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if she used the word damage, but it was kind of like what Brynn is, that it's the hardest thing to overcome in your life.
Right.
Like, you're going to have issues, but if you're like Brynn, who's truly has problems. In her way that it's hard to scoop those out and really move forward in life. And you kind of wear them as you go through your life. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Brynn. Mm-hmm. It's in every interaction she has.
Yeah. Everything that she says, all her motives, everything,
find
her friendships.
From Tina Fey, what she said. It was something where she was talking about just raising a daughter and just about how she hopes she's not this little damaged thing in the corner kind of. Anyway, but it just reminded me, and it just makes my skin, like, makes me cringe, like the word, because it's tough.
It's tough. And here's the only thing I'm going to say also about Brynn. I mean, really, is Brynn a good person? Like, I always kind of thought she's like a minx, like we said, and she jokes around and she embellishes and she jokes and she flirts and she does this and she does that. But underneath it all, is there like a good person in there? I really don't know. I don't know.
I think you're right to question it. I'm going to stick with I think so. It's more like because I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think Brynn would ever hurt you physically, but that doesn't, words are more damaging sometimes than anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one to ponder. What do you guys think? What do the listeners think? Let us know. Come on and, and let us know what you think, because it's interesting to hear all perspectives about it, right?
Yes. With this reunion, I mean, the sexual assault stuff and the Uba stuff, like it didn't really dig into it yet. Like her and Uba did not really go at war yet. I feel like they're going to go at war in the next one or the one after.
Well, they had a nice moment between them.
They did.
Uba was like feeling bad, and she goes, "It's different when you know who the person."
Yeah, because she knew this person,
said,
or they say she currently knows this person.
Yeah,
right?
Uba
like, who is this person?
Right. I got a little confused there because I think Uba was saying what you explained to me, like, it's different when I know Brynn that's happened to personally. I think that's what she meant.
Yeah.
When she was crying.
Yeah.
But I thought it was sweet when Uba's like, "I'm so sorry." And she's like, "I know you are." Like, that was real, I thought.
That was a real moment, of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's why I mean, like, when I see that little snippets of Brynn that
she's human.
Yeah, and that she's really hurting, but she's hurt people, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect thing to say. Hurt people. So exactly. I think that might be Brynn in a nutshell.
Right. That I don't think she's really a deep down a bad person. I think she's just a hurt person who's hurting others to make them feel even a snippet of as bad as she does every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, she's just, the hell she's walking in is nothing near. So if she drops a little hellfire your way when she goes by in that sweet sort of way that's gotten her through her life, then that's what she's going to do to make you feel even a snippet of what she's feeling every day.
Right.
And we're not therapists. Hell, I feel like one today, but we're not.
Well, there have been many housewives through the years that have caused these problems, but Brynn is doing it in a very dark way. So again, I don't know if we want to see this going forward.
The whole sexual assault thing did only added to the darkness and the horror of it. So, that's that. And Andy says it's going to be off the hook next week. Like, it's high octane.
Wow. So I'm intrigued.
I hated this season.
I hated this season. The finale, dark and disturbing, but I was intrigued. The reunion, I'm intrigued. So it's like everything was at the very, very end because the season was just a snooze fest to me.
Snoozer. It was. We thought it was a snooze fest too. Hold on a sec. So before we go, the one look we did not discuss was Jenna's robe. What do you think?
Okay. I think if anyone could get away with that, it would be Jenna Lyons. So I'll give her a thumbs up for that. But did I like it overall? No.
I hated it. I think Jenna didn't want to sit in
get
glam.
away with it, but I was like, oh.
I don't think Jenna wanted to sit in glam. She was like, I'm putting my hair in a turban.
Yeah.
I'm letting you put on a little foundation. And I don't even want to get dressed.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think. But you know,
very. Would you say that's like
Jenna.
an avant-garde kind of thing? And I think that Jenna, in her way, is avant-garde.
A little, but avant-garde
Okay.
is over the top crazy. Would be considered the bottom of size dress. Would be avant-garde. You know what I'm saying? With a crazy feathery top. You know, that's avant-garde. Like Alan Cumming is avant-garde.
Okay, he's avant-garde. All right,
Trader
then,
man.
yes, okay.
But I see what you mean. But no, she's wearing a freaking
like, is
black
it what
bathrobe.
she's wearing saying this is art? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
She's in a
Or,
freaking
you know what
bathrobe, Jenna Lyons.
You know what makes
I
me
love
think
you,
of?
but you're in a bathrobe.
Now we're gonna date ourselves a little bit. I think of the Go-Go's. Remember the Go-Go's with the cover of their famous album?
Yeah, no, it's not the first one. It was the second one, or was it the first one? It was their debut album, right?
It might have been their debut with the towels and the mask, and it was very beautiful and stylish.
Very girly.
So I don't know.
It was very girly.
Very girly.
But I want to say one thing about Jenna Lyons, probably before we wrap it up,
Okay.
because I don't think we're going to pick this apart anymore.
No,
because we've got the second. But Jenna Lyons had me on the floor, and I'm like, now I love Jenna. Now I really love Jenna. She said when she was testing her mic, she was like, bitch, pigeon, vagina hair. Those were
great.
Those were
You know, I
testing.
missed that. That's
Instead
great,
of testing
though.
1, 2, 3, bitch, pigeon, vagina hair. I was like, yes, Jenna.
Oh, go Jenna.
So we leave it on a laugh because the darkness of it all was too much.
Yeah.
But we'll look forward to next week because it's supposed to be high octane, baby.
Wow.
All right. So we are out from season. I don't even know what season it was. God only knows.
Oh, God. I know it's
Season
season 2 of them.
Season 2 of the reboot.
Season 2 of the reboot.
But I think they go with
like, what is it, 15 or 16
probably
in
like
total?
20,000. It seems like light years now at this point. But part 1 of the reunion. So we'll see you for part 2 next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.